Yeah. My darling, sweet baby, you know you drive me crazy. You're someone so special. I can't believe that I found you. You're so fine, baby, please stay with me. Oh, you're all I need. Oh, keep my fire burning. Can't get enough of you. Can't get enough of your loving, baby. Stay, please stay, girl. I have no desire to conceal this burning fire. It's always a pleasure when I am making love with you. You're so fine, baby, please stay with me. Whoa, you're all I need. Oh, you keep my body yearning. Can't get enough of you. You're the only woman, the only one for me. Sexy lady, say you'll always love me. Say you'll stay with me, oh girl. Say you'll stay with me. Give you all the love that you'll ever need, girl. Please stay, girl. You've got that special something, oh, girl, that keeps my fire burning. I've got to tell the whole world, can't get enough of you. So fine, baby, please stay with me. Keep this fire burning, baby. Please stay. sexy look in your eye, that you got something on your mind. Well, let me ease your pain and put your mind at ease. For the frustration in your eye, I know I'm aiming to please. So what I gotta do, girl, trying to get close to you, babe. Trying to get close. What I gotta do, girl, trying to get close to you, babe. I know you see me trying. What I gotta do, girl, trying to get close to you, babe. Tell me back. What I gotta do, girl, trying to get close to you, oh, baby. I can see the hurt in the way he left your heart. The look in your eye, you're very, very scarred. So let me take away your rainy day and put all your pain on my shoulders, baby. What I gotta do, girl, trying to get close to you. I'm trying to get close to you. What I gotta do, girl, trying to get close to you. What do I gotta do? What I gotta do, baby, trying to get close to you, baby. Tell me what I gotta do. What I gotta do, girl, trying to get close to you, baby. Oh, make you stay. Oh, baby. I know I make you stay. Oh, yeah. Make you stay. Do what I gotta do, girl. Trying to get close to you, babe. All right. Hopefully you can hear me. Let's get some sound cracking here. All right. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. I should have some sound here. And I should not hear those speakers, so that's crazy. All right. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. There we go. All right. There we go. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, you know what? Let me fix this real quick. Fix this. Oh, Lord. Always something, ain't it? All righty. Welcome to another edition and broadcast of the beatzillapdx official show. Hopefully some notifications have went out. Who knows? We know how that goes. Let me turn this down. So, hope everybody had a good Martin Luther King holiday. Ooh, that's hot. And, enjoyed the festivities. There's a lot going on this week. Again, this is the beatzillapdx official show. I am beatzillapdx. You can follow me at Instagram, beatzillapdx. You can follow me at Twitter, beatzillapdx. And you can also follow me on Facebook at beatzillapdx. Of course, right here on YouTube at beatzillapdx official. And let's see, where's my notes at? We can go ahead and get on into it. And if you need to contact me or email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. So some people may have seen some of the things that happened this week with some of our motors. They call her AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. In the midst of, I guess, ICE making their attempt at not a really attempt. They did make a tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King by posting a picture of his statue and paying homage to his legacy and his day. Well, she took it upon herself to, in response to that tweet, say, abolish ICE. Although I understand the sentiment, not really the most appropriate timing. Because, this is a day that we're celebrating a foundational Black American who is one of the nation's most recognizable Black civil rights leader, who definitely was killed for trying to get tangibles for Black people. Now, that's something that's often not talked about
But this weekend we saw a lot of videos that definitely was getting that point across. Playing a lot of the videos that aren't the "I Have a Dream" speech that we're usually traditionally used to seeing and hearing. Let's see. Oh, saved. Okay. And so, these things that we are not usually traditionally accustomed to outside of our own group. And because like I've been part of Martin Luther King celebration since like 1985, 1986, somewhere around there. Um, and we actually were able to celebrate uh, that whole situation because usually the celebrations happen on the holiday and it's a whole day thing here in Portland, Oregon. But because of COVID, things were canceled. So it ended up actually being a best of. So it was a chance for us to celebrate all the years that we've been celebrating this together as a community. Um, I'm not sure where this woman was at the time when we were celebrating this, even when, because I'm old enough, I was a kid, but I'm old enough to remember when Martin Luther King Day was not a holiday and people were fighting it. One of the key people who were fighting it was fighting it not becoming a holiday, and it did not become a holiday in Arizona, was John McCain. Well, so there's that part. Let's see. AOC tweets abolish ICE after agency commemorates MLK Day. Let's see. So, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on Monday appeared unimpressed by a tweet from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. To show their appreciation for the civil rights icon, the federal holiday, or on the federal holiday, I'm sorry, ICE tweeted an image of the King statue with the text, "Today we honor Martin Luther King Jr.'s message of hope, justice, and equality." I guess, that can kind of be a little trivialized. Considering, yes, they did put children in cages. So we do know that. Let's see. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put this on the screen. So let's see. Let's get that on there. Fair use. So as you can now see, you should be able to do this. There you go. I'll take myself out the shot altogether. So there's her tweet. It just looks to me like it would be a little bit of bad timing and bad taste to make this pivot. She could have easily just ignored it. But, she's been doing this here lately and taking her opportunity to kind of hijack the civil rights movement. And she's been notoriously jumping back and forth from considering herself to be black, and then she's pushing for Latinos. So when I saw this, I was just like, wow, this is kind of interesting. Where are her allegiances? I just had to wonder because it was, a lot of things that I noticed, even yesterday, if you watched, for those of you who follow me on Instagram or saw the video that I uploaded from my Instagram on this page, you would have seen the video I did live yesterday with all of the American flags that just popped up in my city out of nowhere. I mean, they literally popped up out of nowhere, and they're marked where the flagpoles are in the ground. They're literally marked like the city did it. They got it's strategic. So I'm just, it's an interesting week. I don't remember a time to where a week of inauguration, they went through so many great lengths to post these flags up everywhere. And the interesting part about it is, all those people that stormed the Capitol last week, these people were all walking in there with American flags. So, my question yesterday in my live is, what message are they trying to send? It does definitely beg to ask the question, what message is trying to be sent with all of these American flags that just popped up out of nowhere? The last representation that we saw people in American flags, especially here in Portland, was Jeremy Christian. There's a picture of him walking around. I'm not going to post it here, but there's the notorious picture of him wrapped in an American flag. This is a dude who people probably know and remember from hearing the stories and seeing him going crazy in the courtroom. Yeah. He was he was crazy, but still nonetheless a racist and very much responsible for the murders he carried out. However, he was known to be at the Patriot Prayer rallies, which Patriot Prayer is basically an offshoot of the Proud Boys. And they're also part of the Oath Keepers. So when you see all of these groups, they're basically one big group. They have little mini offshoot groups and branches. However, they are one big group. Don't fool yourselves. They all believe in the code of the 14 words, which is the traditional code of white supremacy, to make sure that they preserve a future for their white children, which is fine. Anybody should want survival, but you should not want survival at the hands or at the cost of extinction of a whole nother race or a whole nother being. That's where you become demonic. And so, I was just wondering, like, okay, well, considering how things always get hijacked from us, you need to look at where people's allegiances are. And when we are looking at people to represent us or speak for us, we need to definitely know who these people are. And who you are, who you marry, tends to say a lot about you. It says where your political allegiance is. Definitely. I don't know how it could not. So when that happens, you kind of get things like this. Look at that picture there. I've turned my sound off. I don't know why. My volume is literally off. My phone's still going off. Go figure. So, see the picture on the screen. Look at those couples. Yeah. Now, you would have to ask God, like I'm just saying, you got to ask yourself about allegiance and where does people's hearts lie? It's a fair question to ask, but this lady here actually had a whole family, and ended up having an affair with this man, and then divorced her husband, and now, as you see, both of them are married. I would advise you to go look into this story about how their relationship came about. I'll just leave it like that. I'm not going to go too much into that, but I'll just tell you, just Ilhan Omar's marriage situation. Just go look at that. This right here, well, I think that goes without saying. What do we see here? One person who, is a person of color. This person is not. Here we go again. Somebody that consistently tries to speak for us, but yet doesn't choose to be with us. If this table was turned, would this work for y'all? Would this work for you? To say, I could trust this man who, say, would cheat on his black wife, make sure that, again, I'm going to just tell you, go look at the story, and then marry the man less than a year after being divorced, or marry the woman after being divorced, and the tables will turn. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think nobody going for that. Just a thought. So, again, taking the opportunity, we have to be very careful of who we let in and who tries to speak for us. We got to make sure we circumvent anybody trying to change our narrative into another storyline. And that's what we're seeing a lot of now. And just that picture just reflects some of the reasons why. Not everybody has a full agenda. And the one thing that we can definitely see the absence of in that is the black man. Without the black man and the black woman, that's the functioning black family. You're looking for a genocide. So really, again, it's a mental stimulant to put your mind in a certain frame of thinking. That's success. That's winning. What is crazy, though, is also, see, when we do this, we run the risk of, really making poor examples for our whole community of what we represent as a community, and just trying to be one. Yes. Here's, all right. Let's go here. And I think this is it. Oh, God. All right. All righty. How about that there? I don't think it's a problem with saying, maybe we should look at people thoroughly, not just take things at face value. Because again, although she's clearly a sister, you do see her in this other picture, don't you? Who co-signs this? That is ill. And yeah, that's a no-go. So again, the elimination of the black man right there. Where are we going with this? One thing we're doing is we've already seen what's happening. See, it has to be now pushed on a visual level, because what's actually happening in the community is less violence amongst each other. It's less crime. Crime has went down. So now we're at this place where we're manufacturing a reason for us not to be together, unified. And a lot of these things aren't even coming from us. They're coming from outside sources. This is what I mean by outside sources. Not everybody that says they're for you are actually for you. These things need to be proven by actions, not words. Like I said on one of my last broadcasts, all of those people who were out there at the Capitol, oh, yes, and we'll have another story to get to in a minute. But all of those people who are out there have relatives who know that they have these views. These are your neighbors. They know they have these views, but they can smile in your face. Everything be just all right and peachy keen. Right? This could be your boss. This could be who you're going to go get all dressed up for to go do an interview with. And they could have these views. If you knew what this person felt before you went and interviewed with them, would you think that you didn't get the job based on the fact that you weren't qualified enough? See, just because you didn't know people were treating you that way didn't mean you weren't getting treated that way. I think this is what the eye opener is for people. You're seeing school teachers, you're seeing judges, policemen, servicemen, politicians, judges, district attorneys, all of these people taking part in this type of mutiny. Well, how can you hold faith in a system like that? I mean, as far as me being a Black American man, this is basically what I expect. All I'm seeing now is everybody seeing what we already knew. That's all that's happening as far as I'm concerned. But, eesh. So, this next headline. Okay, and this is just a piggyback on what you just saw. Look at that headline right there. You just make that large. Capitol rider threatened to shoot his children if they told the FBI about DC trip. This man was going to shoot his own kids, man. For the cause. Now, when we say the code, we don't mean to go all out, but just making sure that you understand the level that these people are on, man. If you snitch on daddy, I'm going to blow your brains out. I mean, this article is crazy. I would advise you to go look at this one and just read it from end to end, man. This is crazy. But it's true. And so these are the people in your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. And you have to be mindful. You got to be mindful of how people carry themselves. May not be what they actually feel for you in their hearts. And these people are so down for the cause of white supremacy because it is a religion to a lot of these people. They're willing to down their own children for the cause. I mean, I didn't make this up. This article exists. This came out last night. You know, that's where we're at with it, folks. So again, I keep saying, and I will say it, and even past inauguration this week, there's going to be a lot of riled up, proud people out here, just for the things that I've been able to see, and the energy that's going on in my town. We're seeing a lot of random meeting of people like in parking lots and whatnot. Ton of random pickup trucks with flags on them. Bunch of camouflage looking like, you know, a bunch of militiamen that are ready. You know, so this is one thing that I think as far as the people in my neighborhood, you definitely should avoid Salem. I'm pretty sure that everybody would not be at our Capitol. However, there are a lot of people that are going to be at this inauguration. For some reason, they're considering this such a celebration to be transitioning from one vile racist to another. But hey, you know, the funniest thing I thought about this morning is people bring up the fact that Donald Trump's dad or great-grandfather was a Klansman. Well, Joe Biden's mentor was a Grand Dragon. But you forgive that. That's okay. Okay, yeah. The one who brought him along is an absolute staunch anti-black racist. But we'll just let that go because, you know, Donald Trump said a few things that hurt our feelings. But this other man here can do a lot more damage. because he's savvy with that law. And if y'all haven't figured out that the law is what matters versus your emotions, you can keep being played. I would just hope that you would learn to shut your mouth and stop pushing that on people. Because a not vote for this person or a not vote for that person means that you voted for yourself and you voted for the people to have power to strengthen their own voice. If more people did that, imagine how much power do you have? Now every politician has to come to you to find out what you need. But, we have the James Clyburns out here saying, hey, just give us Lift Every Voice as a national anthem. While we're still talking about tangibles, there's all of these people. Black Lives Matter is twerking on the monument of D.C. and twerking at the Martin Luther King statue. Good going, Black Lives Matter. You have really showed who you were yesterday. These people don't represent the masses of us. We want tangibles. We deserve tangibles, and there is no reason to deny it. These people don't even want to wear masks, and they run up in your capital cities and run up in your capitals over having a city shut down. Colin Kaepernick can't kneel for black folks getting murdered in the street. In the midst of all of this, no charges for the police, Tamir Rice. That's a 12-year-old child. Would have been the same age as my son today. No charges for a man who didn't even give the kid the opportunity to put his hands up. Sorry, people. Last Wednesday was not the darkest day in American history. No, something y'all need to learn to live with is the fact that all of this death and destruction that you saw inflicted upon the black community, you sat back quietly while you saw human beings suffering. Not that I'm fully on board with trash slung around the city. At the same time, though, look at the times we're in. Should we not have compassion for the homeless? There's more powers at work than homeless in your neighborhood bringing your property value down. Maybe concern yourself about the forces and powers that be that made them people in this predicament in the first place. Do you know California shut down, but they're evicting people? You can't go to work, but the sheriff can come kick your ass out into the street. That's America. People was talking so crazy about Bernie Sanders and that socialism idea. Yeah, I don't know. Capitalism doesn't seem to be working out in the midst of trouble. Matter of fact, it's seeming pretty disastrous. Right now, we're seeing things that we thought we'd never see. We're seeing things like groups that would never tell on each other saying, hey, if you see something, say something. Like, oh, wow, I thought that only applied to us. But, watching it being applied to everybody else is really interesting. It's something that I believe needs to be seen by the world. Because, we have an image, I don't know if you know, but we have an image around the world what people think of us, which, of course, has not been, we have not been the authors of that narrative at all. So people have this view or this idea that like everybody on the West Coast must be like 1988 Compton or something like that. Like, nah, man. Matter of fact, all of them neighborhoods is gentrified like a mug. So, no, none of the places that you saw in them movies even look like that anymore. Matter of fact, it kind of brings the question like, well, how did all of those areas that were on them movies get so gentrified? Were you promoting a Target? And think of Boys in the Hood. That was actually what they were talking about. They were talking about gentrification in Boys in the Hood. And that very same neighborhood has been gentrified like a mug. Go figure. So, and think about the people who were in power. Sometimes we get people that look like us to do more damage because we'll just accept it. So say we have, we got this new black mayor in LA or whatever. Oh, we have a black AG in California. She's going to make a difference. She's there to make sure we don't complain. He's there to make sure we don't complain. That we don't get an uprising. And we always have someone like to basically play the role of a pastor to calm everybody back down. So, hey, we just need to calm on down, and your grandma wouldn't want you being in the street acting up like this. Now, you just got to calm down and think peacefully. Martin Luther King would have wanted you to keep that's where they're going to go with it. And that's what is, that's why we have these Jim Clyburns, Congressional Black Caucus, which all of this madness that if you notice, watch them peoples. We've been talking about the people they're going to will out to preserve this image that has been so cracked from this debacle of these terrorists, gang member thugs acting as domestic or terrorist domestic going up on the Capitol. You're seeing everybody. The whole gambit. There's no left out group. So everybody that you see, you got your bankers, you got Fortune 500 company people there. I mean, that's major. Let's see. Let's just look at this. And then the other lady who actually ends up trying to sell. She tries to sell Nancy Pelosi's computer. These people have no shame, man. This is funny. This is funny. Look at this. All right. FBI investigating whether Capitol assault suspect tried to sell Pelosi's computer to Russian intelligence service. Man, them some super patriots, ain't they? Yeah. Let me turn it off. I'll share that. So, okay. So yeah, with that being said, you got the patriots that call themselves patriots, but what are they patriots to? What is the entity that they are serving? It has always been masked as it's America, it's the Constitution. As soon as they felt that they weren't being done right, everything went out the window. They didn't wait for the law. They went up there to the Capitol, and they're planning to go do more things this week. Like they're calling in the National Guard, and then you have to weed out the National Guardsmen who have ties to white supremacist militia groups. And this is who we want roaming the streets as police? What kind of reform can you do with that? If anyone can answer that, and when you see this video, please put it in the comments. What kind of reform? Where would you even begin to say, okay, this person is already a staunch racist. How are we going to help them, aid them in their duty as a police officer? I have a real novel idea on that. Fire them. You want to get results? Fire them. Punishment always seemed to be a good deterrent for children. Why wouldn't it be for adults? Oh, wait, it is for adults. That's right. The average citizen should be going to jail or prison for murdering somebody that's unarmed. But this system says this is okay as long as you have a badge on. But these are the people that we're putting out there with badges. The FBI already told you that these groups have infiltrated law enforcement long ago. Obama was still in office then. So where do we sit now in 2021? A day away from Inauguration Day. Well, I'll be at home. I may or may not watch it because I really don't care. I have no dog in that fight. You know, hey man, congratulations. For me, now that we know who's about to be in power, now it's time to turn our sights on getting tangibles from the powers that be. Here's the other problem. For all the black folks that are, what did I see? I read today, Biden sexuals and the vote taps. This is your time to step up. Your people are about to be in power, and you have been subversive, going against the grain. It's time for black folks to get tangibles in this country. Do not come and ask me no stupid madness like, how do we know who to pay? And where would this go? I'm going to say it like I've said it before. These slave ledgers still exist, and these people know exactly who you are. So if you're too shallow to figure that one out, well, I don't know what to tell you. But I would advise you, hey, man, like this thing that I've already turned the sound off that won't stop going off, you need to go ahead and get off up in that news and look at them news feeds, start looking at what's going on, research things, because nothing is stopping you from this information. And what they're doing right now, because they have to put the truth out still, they're putting it through internet media. So you're going to have to look at your news feeds, get that information, and go to work. They're not going to put it on your news channels because they don't want you stewing on that. You feel what I'm saying? So what they're going to do is they're going to put it, well, what they've been doing is putting it in these articles. And let me see. Right. Okay, let's try that. They put it in these articles. You can read them. I mean, all the information is in there. They drop names and everything. For some reason, those same stories that we'll hear, like the article that just came out with the 53 people that have passed from after the jab, which I don't think they have determined if it was from the material in what they got or not. But nonetheless, that's a few deaths. And this is the one thing we're not hearing in the news. So you can read it on the internet and you can get these stories about all these deaths. You'll see the videos even of some testimonials and people being jacked up. None of that's going to be on your TV. None of it's going to be on your cable news. And all of those congressional black caucus people, those con artists, all they're going to do is tell you what the media is going to tell you, because it's a concerted effort to fool you. but you also got to look at the tricks. So, ask for proof. That'd be one of my things to say. Ask for proof. When people start telling you, oh, hey, this is that, based on what? And let them go. If they can't answer you and it starts coming back with questions and questions, they're full of it. On to the next. Anybody really telling you something, when you ask the question, based on what? They're going to be able to give you an answer. Anybody who can't is a con artist and a liar. Miss me with the I can't get my words straight. If you believe it, it's not new to you. When you're guessing, then yeah, you'll get tongue-tied. But people who know what they're talking about. It's why they talk with a certain conviction. Well, again, to this disrespectful woman and her squad who likes to speak for us, but does not represent anything we ask for. AOC is another one that's trying to find a way to shoehorn other people into reparations. And I ain't feeling that. Nah, that's a foundational Black American thing. If you are part of ADOS, the lineage, that is part of you. I am not affiliated with any organization like that. If that's how you identify, fine. I mean, I mess with a little bit of everybody. What I don't mess with are thieves. So, I don't do that. Thieves are liars and liars are snitches. And if you got a snitch, snitch is a rat, and the rat will be the one, just like the man that got Fred Hampton set up. That's what they do because it's in the nature. Yeah. Alpha men ain't made. They're born. So either you are that or you not. Just watch the behavior. That's all I'll say about that. So with that being said, this wasn't going to be too long. About 40 minutes or so. So, again, this is the beatzillapdx official show. I am beatzillapdx. You can reach me at Instagram, beatzillapdx. You can get at me at Twitter, beatzillapdx. You can get at me on Facebook, beatzillapdx. And, of course, right here, you're following me at beatzillapdx official on YouTube. And also, I have my podcast, Our Real Truth, at Anchor FM podcast. Let's see, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Spotify, and a few other platforms that that are integrated in there too. So if you just Google me, you should be able to find me in all of the different areas where I am. So, with that being said, Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let Babylon fall and let us rise. And you can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. Shout out to the New Black Media, who is growing by the day. And there's a few other things that we got. We're in the process of meeting. So there will be some things coming up on the horizon from not just myself, but other members of the Black media. It's going to be good. I'm looking to do a town hall on the local end soon. So I'm getting that together as well with some of the Black content creators from my own neck of the woods. And, try to introduce some people that you may not know to the mix. And hopefully that trend spreads. That's what I want to see. I want to see this spread a little bit of everywhere because it's very important that we set our own narrative. it's very important that people understand when they open their mouth about us, they need to be involving us in the discussion. If we are not present, not the typical leaders that they picked, nah, ours that we chose. You can come talk to our spokespeople. Remember, your vote is power. And sometimes saying nothing is better. We got 4 years now to figure that one out. We already see the plans that they have on day one. Doesn't involve the lift every voice plan at all. And y'all still mad at Ice Cube. Well, try to tell you. But shout out to all of the conscious, intelligent, foundational Black Americans out there that have really, really, really started making a push to rid our area of the mindless BS that they're trying to push on us. We're not going to get our booties to the pole. We are more than that. And sidebar real quick, just before I go, that little Black Lives Matter twerking at the Martin Luther twerk on Washington thing, if you look at the explanation of that, it is almost identical to the explanation of cuties. It's literally the same explanation. It's just slightly worded different, but go check it out. It's the same reason that they were using why they were putting cuties out. Now they just used a grown woman to justify the same madness. Can't get you one way, they'll get you another. So, until next time, family. Also before you can hit the Cash App up. That's $beatzillapdx. Cash App. So I will be setting up a Patreon in the future here. Well, actually, I've already set it up, but I'll let y'all know how it's going. We'll get in there and start doing some other things. Having a little more deeper discussions. I want to have some interactive stuff going on that platform. So, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Peace. Shalom.